The history of badminton. The history of badminton. Badminton began in India as a game called Puna. Puna involved from a children play called battledore and shuttlecock, wherein players hit the flying shuttle with paddles. It was played at first without a net. The shuttle was then called a bird because it was made from goose feathers. There were also similar sports played in other parts of the world. In 5th century in China, a sport known as Tijianzi was played by kicking a shuttlecock up in the air. In Europe, a sport known as jeu de volant was played with the use of second-hand rackets rather than bare feet to kick the shuttle upward. British Army officers who were earlier stationed in India introduced the game after they were called back to England. They also brought along the equipment for Puna in the 1870s. It was Duke of Beaufort who introduced the game of the British elite in 1873 during a lawn party at his country estate named Badminton or Badminton House. It was a hit. People began calling the new party sports the badminton game. By 1893, the badminton game was so popular that about 14 local clubs formed an association. It was named Badminton Association of England to differentiate it from associations organized in other countries. The organization standardized the rules of the sport, with hundreds of tournaments held across the world. Several countries formed the International Badminton Federation in 1934, its headquarters at Kent, England. The aim of the game is to hit the shuttle with a racket so the bird passes over a net and lands inside a defender playing area. If the player failed to return it, you won a rally. The defender has the same goal. He or she should reach the bird and send it back over the net into your half court. If you think the bird will land outside of your court, you just let fall to the ground once the shuttle hits the ground outside the court. The rally ends and you get a point. You should hit the shuttle only once, unlike in volleyball where several players may touch the ball before sending it back across the net. Competitive badminton is played indoors because the bird could be easily blown, of course, by the wind. So that is the history of badminton. So let's proceed to facilities and equipment. First one, racket. A racket is made of either metal or synthetic materials. It weighs between 98 gram and 100 gram. Its overall length is between 665 mm and 670 mm. Next, this is the parts of racket: the string area, the head, the frame, the throat, the shaft, and the handle. Next, shuttlecock. Shuttlecock. It is made up of 16 goose feathers embedded into a cork head. The feathers could be substituted with feather like nylon or plastic. This is the parts of shuttlecock: the round cork base, the conical shape, the feathers, and extremely aerodynamically stable. Always will return to fly cork first. Next, if we have a racket and shuttlecock Also, we need a court. First, what is court? Court. Badminton courts may be set outdoors or indoors. But competitive badminton is usually played indoors, so the wind will not affect the flight of the shuttlecock. The standard badminton court is 6 meters wide to hold a doubles game. The single court at least a 5 meter wide. The length should be at least a 13.4 meter or 44 feet. Next, post and net. Post and nets. The posts should be stand on a double sidelines and are 1.55 meter in height. The net should be strained tightly with a height of 1.524 meter from the floor in the center of the width of 0.76 meter. This is the post and net. Next, after knowing the equipment, let's learn the basic skills of playing badminton. You have to develop these skills so you can play the sport properly. This is the basic skills in playing badminton. First, grip. It is the way a player holds the racket in a reference to a shot. This is the kinds of grip. Forehand grip. A handle-shaped grip where the index finger is curved around the handle higher than the thumb, which is positioned higher than the three other fingers in front of the handle. The index finger is the lever to flex the hand during the shot. It is useful for forehand smash, forehand drop, forehand clear, and forehand net kill to tighten the hit. This is the kinds of angle of forehand grip: angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. Next, backhand grip. Backhand grip, a close fist grip in which the thumb is placed behind the flat or the handle, serving as lever to move the hand away from the body during a shot. Shots such as backhand clear, backhand drive, backhand smash, and backhand lift are very delivered efficiently using this grip, which tightens during the hit. And last, neutral grip. Another variation of grip in which the thumb and the index finger are opposite each other to switch easily from the forehead grip to a backhand grip. Advanced players use this grip either in backhand or in forehand. During the lifts, flicks, backhand drives, and drop shots near the net, because light motion action of fingers and lower arm muscles is needed here. Number 2, stroke. What is stroke? Stroke, it is the swing motion of the arm. The direction of the stroke varies. Kind of stroke. A. Forehand stroke. Refers to the swinging of the arm in which the palm of the racket hand faces the direction of the stroke. The player executes an open stance with the foot racket and hand at the back. This is to transfer the weight to the other foot during the service or return of low shot or high shot. Then an open forward long is done during a return from a close to net shot. B. Backhand stroke. Refers to the swinging of the arm in which the back of the hand faces the direction of the stroke. The player executes an open long position at the back, side, or diagonal front of the court. Number 3, shot. What is shot? Shot, it is the produced height and distance to the fly of the bird after certain amount of force applied during the hit. kind of shot? A. Clear. A lob shot that is high and direct toward of the backcourt of the opponent. B. Drop. A low shot that is close to the top of the net and crosses behind the net of the opponent's side. C. Drive. A low shot that makes horizontal while crossing over the net. D. Smash. A hard hit overhead shot that forces the shuttle to go sharply downward. E. Net kill. A sharp downward return from a low shot close to the net. F. Lift. A gentle shot from a flat or horizontal face of a racket executed gently by the fingers and wrist. 4. Service. It is a shot delivered by the player to restart the game. The shuttlecock should be crossing the net, continuously flying diagonally toward and receiving area. The mandatory service height is fixed at 1.15 meters, which was officially started in December 2018. Kinds of service. A. Forehand high serve. Is delivered from a full forehand backswing to the fly of the verve, deeply high toward the backcourt of the opponent. B. Forehand low serve. Is delivered from half swinging of the arm forward should be the arm closer to the body. C. Backhand low serve. Is delivered in which the bird is tapped gently to the fly over and dropped just behind the net or close to the service line of the opponent's court. D. Backhand flick serve. Is delivered from a low serve but with the very quick upward forward action and risk, making the bird fly toward to the back of the court. The two service techniques are the forehand and backhand service. The forehand serve uses the forehand stroke, whereas the backhand serve uses the backhand stroke. The offensive player first holds the shuttle before executing the forehand or backhand stroke to make it the serve. The basics of badminton. Badminton can be played either as singles, two opposing players, or a doubles two-person teams game. To get a score, the first offensive player must hit the bird to the pass over the net and land it within the court and opponent. If the shuttlecock hits the net or lands outside of the court, a point is awarded into the opponent. The server must hit the bird underarm and below the server waistline. No overarm serves are allowed. Each game starts with a toss of a coin to determine which player serves first and what sides of the court the opponent takes. If the shuttlecock is live or in play, a player may move around the court and he or she wishes. Both many hit the shuttlecock from out of the playing area during the exchange of flights. If a player touches the net with any part of his or her body or racket, it is considered a fault. His or her opponent gets the point. Here are the situations when the shuttle is considered not in play, when it strikes the net and remains suspended on top, when it strikes the net or post and falls down or on the court on the striker sides of the net, when it hits the surface of the court and a fault or lead has occurred. A fault is called if a player deliberately distracts his or her opponent. The shuttlecock is caught in the racket and then flung. and the shuttlecock hits the twice, or the player that continues to infract the rules of the game. A fault may also be called in the following situations: if the shuttle lands outside of boundaries of the court, if the shuttle passes through or under the net, if the shuttle fails to pass over the net, if the shuttle touches the ceiling or the walls, if the shuttle touches the person or the clothing of a player or touches any object or person, if the shuttle is caught and is held on the racket and then slung during the execution of a throw. The primary goal of the server is to pass the shuttle diagonally across the net to his or her opponent. As points are won, the servers change roles, wherein the first server becomes the receiver. There are no second serves unlike in lawn tennis. In the first attempt lands outside your court, the opponent gets the point. Every game is officiated by a referee on high chair. Line judges monitor as to where the shuttlecock lands. The referee has the overriding calls on infringements or faults. A let is called by the referee is an accident or an emergency. This may include when the shuttlecock gets stuck in the net and decision is too close to call. A let is also called if player serves before the receiver is ready, or a service court error occurs. When a let occurs, the play is not accounted, and the player who served will repeat the serve. An exception is when the rule of service court error is applicable. The game has only 2 rest periods, a 90th rest after the game and a 5-minute rest period after the second game. If the rules are repeatedly broken by a player, referee has to dock that particular player of points which repeated falls. The player is then removed from the set or the match. So that's our topic in badminton. Hope you have learned in this video. Goodbye!